right. Thank you so much, Bhumika. Your presentation really sets the pace for mine, and you've covered so much that it's going to help me so much. Thank you so much. Everyone, I will be presenting on the topic female puberty transition. I'm sure we all have gone through this. So it's going to be very interesting to see if I can learn from you all. What did you know about puberty? Because I was one living under a cave and knew nothing when I was going through it. Before we start, let's take a moment and share our gratitude towards all the gurus, all the acharyas who shared their deep knowledge. And thank you so much, Nutan ma'am, for sharing whatever you did in the last 4 weeks. It has really helped us, all of us. And all the teachers who came, Dr. Gauri, Dr. Sarita, Manina ji, Nisha ji, Swati ji, and everybody. And all of you who, through their question and inquisitive mind, helped me learn so much more. Thank you so much. Let's understand the very basic question, what is puberty? Now, before I start, can I ask anybody, I know you all have gone through it, anybody who knew what was happening to them when they were actually going through it? Yashika says no. Amrita, I can't see many of you. Can you just, Purva also is nodding, Mona ji also is also saying no. So I'm assuming, like me, there were many who didn't know what we were going through, right? So let's understand what is puberty. It's basically the stage where we start to become adults. From a girl, we start to become an adult. It usually happens between the age of 8 to 14, and it causes a lot of changes in our system, emotional, mental, physical, definitely. And the first time we get our periods, that particular phase is called menarche, the first period, okay? Every woman goes to, every girl goes through different kind of changes. Let's understand what are those changes, okay? One is very something which is very visible. These are the physical changes. You get taller. Your breast starts to grow. You will see hair under your armpits, on your pubic area, even on your legs and arms, right? One thing that we all hate, we start to get pimples, and suddenly we know, okay, something is really changing in the body. And then, of course, the menarche, the first period that comes. So these are some of the physical changes. There are many more, but I'm trying to keep it crisp and the ones which are extremely visible. Some of the other changes that we go are the mental changes. We start to become a little more intelligent. Our cognitive development happens. That means we can do much more. There's a lot more brain power that we can use. Like Bhumika said, estrogen and progesterone, they start to increase in the system. And all of this, leads to many emotional changes. Something that I remember I personally went through was a lot of frustration. I felt extremely anxious. I didn't know what was happening to me. So there was self-consciousness, a little dent in my personal confidence, and a lot of mood swings. Every time somebody was talking to me, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was always thinking something really wrong is happening to me and I'm probably going to die. So these are some of the changes that a girl goes through. Now let's see, Bhumika has already covered this in detail, so I'm going to just keep it crisp. So what happens when menstruation starts? Basically, your hormones start to tell your ovary that you start to release the eggs, you start to release the ovum, because the body is now transitioning from being a girl to becoming an adult. So all these, organs, your fallopian tube, your ovary, uterus, cervix, vagina, endometrium, they start to function and they start to do their jobs. Yeah. So like I said, there's so many changes that are happening. How do we ensure that we are able to help a child who's going through this, especially a girl who, like me, knew nothing and is going through this phase? So if you see any of the changes that we just spoke about in the physical changes, let's say you see a girl who you think is suddenly, growing up in their height, you can see underarm hair, or you can see certain pimples on her face, she's going through her puberty. Those are the signs. So how can we help her? I think as parents, guardians, friends, we can definitely start a conversation. We can tell them what is happening to me instead of waiting for them to ask, because there's a lot of shame sometimes attached to it and they might not feel comfortable. So starting a conversation really helps them. Also, as adults, we should encourage all kinds of questions. I think sometimes as parents or guardians, we do try to shut a child when they ask something which we cannot answer or which we don't feel very comfortable with. So like Nutan ma'am always said in the class, all questions are acceptable. So let them be open, let them ask everything that they want to ask, and we have to answer in as much clarity as we can. Third is, how can we build their self-confidence? There's so many ways to do it, but I think yoga really helps, because the moment you kind of calm your mind, you have the ability to be self-aware. And that is one practice that can be used to build self-confidence, other than, you know, making sure that the girls are playing, they're going out, and they're eating well, they're sleeping on time. All of this kind of helps them uh, keep them centered and keep them aligned with their body. So the lesser, you know, the bodily and mental fluctuations, the better is the child ability to manage these changes. Okay. Uh, let's see what more we can do. Since we've all learned yoga for puberty, some of the asanas that I think we can do. Before that, let's see what are the emotions and how can we help it through yoga. One is helps in yoga, definitely helps in physical and mental health, and it stimulates their development and growth. It helps in you know, improving their body image and just builds the self-confidence. And pranayama can help them balance their hormones and keep them calm, keep them composed. It also does something very important, which is to manage their menstrual cycle and ease the cramps. And the last thing that I think it can help is meditation. It, like we all know, it reduces the stress in the system. We become much more aware of ourselves, and that really helps and everybody, especially somebody who's going through such a change, to manage themselves better. We'll now look at some of the, you know, practices that we can do. In puberty, since the child is so much active, you know, this is the age when the activity is really high. All kind of asanas can be practiced, right from your standing ones, your sitting ones, your supine, prone, and your pranayama. Some of the examples that I've given, this is not an exhaustive list, but some of these which can be easily done is in standing, you can do Surya Namaskar, Vrikshasana, Garudasana, Tadasana, and Utkatasana. In sitting, your Patangasana, that really helps. Paschimottanasana, Baddhakonasana, it helps to even in their you know, reproductive organ. In supine, your Sarvangasana, Halasana, Setubandhasana always helps in kind of doing a lovely massage to the reproductive system, as well as, you know, releasing the back muscles. In prone, Makarasana is a wonderful Bhujangasana, Dhanurasana, Shalbhasana. And pranayama, like I mentioned, Nadi Shuddhi is great. Even your Brahmari, Shitali, Kapalbhati, that can help a lot when a child is starting to do their practices. Now, one asana that I think that can really help, of course, so many asanas can help, but I'm taking an example of this one, Marjarasana. I feel this is such an inclusive asana, right from the back to your core, to your reproductive organs, your legs, your arms, your shoulders. It kind of helps in stretching all of it, and it gives a great blood circulation in all the body parts. So this is one asana that I feel can be done. And after that, a relaxation is must for the child to feel comfortable. So this is yoga for puberty. And that's all from me. I am trying to keep it as crisp because all my other friends help me kind of do it crisp. They've already shared so much. A little about me. I am somebody who loves to learn and who loves to share the knowledge of yoga. Since when I went to puberty, I went through a lot of challenges. So here is a little girl. She's my friend's daughter, and now she's in her age. So our intention is to help her go through this phase beautifully. So whenever we have the time, whenever we can, we do yoga and pranayama together. And it is one of the pictures when we had just finished our session, and we were just lying under a tree and enjoying ourselves. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much for listening to me and yeah, letting me share my experiences. Thank you so much.